Okay, let's do a quick mic check. Hello, hello, everyone. Hey, Heather. Hey, French fries. Welcome. Just a minute and I will be on screen. Um, Face cam is not working properly. One second. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to stream earlier, but oh my God, I've been kind of sick the last day and a half with allergies to a ridiculous degree. So I just couldn't muster it earlier. Let me make sure my camera is correct. There we go. Hey, chat. The usual rabble assembles. Yeah, no worries. Hope you're feeling better. To a degree, it's been crazy. Um, I'm going in. I go in for allergy shots. I'll be doing that tomorrow. But yeah, just really bad. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. It's just been crazy. But it comes and goes. It's just one of those things. All right. Almost done here. So today's going to be another daily painting. Try and do a relatively quick painting. We'll see. Don't think I'll be able to finish it on stream, but um, hopefully I'll be able to get it done pretty quick so I can have another video out uh, soon, either tomorrow or Saturday. That's the that's the hope. Uh, is it springtime in Texas? If the weather in Texas could figure out what it is, I would let you know. Boy, um, the weather here has no idea what it is right now. It goes from like we had I think honestly I think what it was is we had a couple of like extremely windy days, um like storm level wind type of thing. And I think that was part of it. And then we've just been getting like snow, and then it goes from snow to uh, hot sunshine back to rain, and then all over the place. So yeah, I think that's honestly a big part of it. It's just been so crazy. I think that's you know, I think that's probably a big part of it. There we go. All right, other than the camera, everything else is set up today. So I'm actually a little bit ahead of normal. So yeah, I'm a little behind on my paintings because I was dealing with that commission that is finally done. or it's done unless they have more notes. But otherwise, commission is finished. So yay. Yeah, we literally, I think it was last week, we had a snow warning, and then it went 2 days after that, it was in the 80s, and then um, and then it rained again. So our weather is just insane. We'll see how today's painting goes. It's going to be interesting. Um, I'm trying to keep the theme going, so I'm going to be playing around with like what does a finished piece of artwork look like. So yeah. Hey Cassandra, welcome. How you doing? One second. Okay, there we go. I was like, something seems weird. I forgot to hit play on the music. Not bad, not bad. Good. Glad to hear it. All right. Uh, Heather says we had 50 mile per hour winds out here in NOLA and thunderstorms on Mardi Gras Day. Uh, yeah. Didn't stop the party though, LOL. That doesn't surprise me. Um, yeah. I couldn't tell you what the winds were here, but it was like I don't think it was that bad, but it was pretty windy. Um, so yeah. All right. Let's see. Let me. What's it called? Try and get my brain to in order so I know what I'm doing. Oh, before I get too much into it, I did do a painting test, and I may have been a little too harsh on the cobalt violet. I still don't think it's all that useful of a color, but it's a little bit better than I thought it was. You probably won't be able to see much of it here, but this right here um, is the violet, and this here is some mixes, and this is also the violet. And I was trying to see like how opaque is it. It's not super opaque, but if you what's it called? If you put it on a little thick, it's opaque. Cobalt teal, way more opaque, but it's still overall opaque. It is a beautiful color. I can mix close to it, but can't quite match it. So, you know, it's just I think the problem is it's a dark color that doesn't lighten very well. Because here when I mix it with white, you can kind of see it doesn't mix very well with white. Like it grays out super fast. I think that's the disappointing part about it. Like it doesn't mix and brighten as much as like other colors. It just dies and becomes a gray color. I think that's the well, actually the point that makes it so disappointing. French I said we had 3 to 6 inches of snow and rain with more expected tomorrow. Jeez, that's a lot. Oh, hey, someone new in chat on Twitch, Mr. Unfantastic Fox. Hello, welcome. I'm dual streaming, just so you know. So if you do follow me, I don't have pop-ups or notifications, but I do appreciate it. I just can't see it. There's just a little too much going on all at once for me. Um, and I am streaming on YouTube as well. So if you hear me talking to random people, that's who I'm talking to. Otherwise, welcome. How are you today? I'm about to start a new painting for today. How are you doing? I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Just everything's just a little delayed and later than I wanted it to be, but you know, what can you do? Sometimes that's the way things go. But yeah, otherwise doing all right. Like I said, about to start a new painting. With miracle timing, it'll be a YouTube video by tomorrow. Most likely it'll be a YouTube video by Saturday, if if I'm being completely honest, but yeah. Um, okay, I did not actually want the white in here. Let me get a different paper towel real quick. But yeah, otherwise, doing all right. I'm chilling, man. Just smoked half a J, got my art stuff together. Now just relaxing. Nice. What kind of art do you do? My you know, my YouTube channel is dedicated to my oil painting, and I mostly do figurative and portraits. Although I have done some pet portraits, and I did one floral and a couple. I'm trying to remember. I did at least one, maybe a couple landscapes. But yeah, not entirely my thing, but you know, it's good to branch out as well. I'm just oiling out my surface because this surface is very grabby. Um, and it feels a lot better when I put down a very thin layer of oil to start with. And I don't really have to worry too much about the fat over lean thing because I will basically be doing the whole thing in a single layer. Hmm. Alrighty. So I a lot of times like to start with the background, which is what I'm going to be doing here, just to kind of give me like a block in of everything. Um, but yeah, the style today is going to be a little different, so it should be fun to try it out. I'm not usually overly concerned with being too precise when I first start. Sometimes I make an effort to be more precise than other times. Today is not one of those days. Um, I'm okay with it being extremely, loose in the beginning. today, and if it's like if my proportions and stuff are quite a bit off, it's not a big deal. In the first part, there's going to be like a turning point with this painting where it starts off very loose and then it's going to go, I'm not going to say very tight, but it's going to be, we'll say, less messy very quickly. Although I think this painting is probably going to be messy from start to finish, and at finish still be kind of a messy painting by design, but we'll see. I'm leaving some room to be wrong and to change things if need be. But yeah, right now I'm just laying in some of the background colors. There is going to be a figure kind of in the middle. You will see her in just a minute. But yeah, the theme this week, I was trying to talk about the idea that like I know artists, uh, especially students, but sometimes struggle with like when is a painting finished and when do you call it done? Um, and I talked a bit about that in my first video, and now I'm trying to kind of expand on that concept a bit more. We'll see if that all comes together in a way that makes sense to people, to anybody but myself, I'd say. My palette is way messier than I normally let it get. I'm feeling a little uncomfortable with how messy it is, honestly. Oh, I will say this was an interesting thing that happened today. I I in one of the discords I'm a part of, it's actually Nicholas Uribe's Discord for his Patreon. Um, Someone posted there talking about comparing two color mixtures, trying to figure out like which one is cooler and which one is warmer. It was really interesting because the conclusion is um, kind of surprising. It's kind of unclear which one is actually warmer or cooler, because you'd think temperature would be a little more, um, clear, but no, it was actually pretty surprising how unintuitive it was, and how much of it seemed to actually be based more on saturation than on what's it called? More on saturation than the color itself. And granted, the two colors were very close to each other. It was essentially two teals, so they're very close to each other. But yeah, it's really interesting. Um, so temperature is well, not just temperature. Everything is just it's remarkable how subjective it is, and also um, how dependent it is on other circumstances, like other things around it. It's yeah, it's quite surprising, honestly. If you want to recreate the experiment, I can tell you the colors that they used. It was a mixture of ultramarine blue and um, lemon yellow, and the other one was a mixture of uh, cobalt teal and lemon yellow. And then they also did a variation with white. And yeah, it was pretty surprising. So if you like doing color experiments, there's one for you to try. So I'm painting another woman, so I have to make sure to paint the dress in very early. So there's no accidental flagging of anything again. I don't want Twitch to accidentally flag anything, you know, uh, because they seem to be trigger happy on that side of things. I don't want to get banned again. LOL. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to get banned again. They're so trigger happy with that. Which is actually pretty remarkable because some of the stuff I've seen on there, I'm like, okay, really? I got banned for that, but this is still on there? Okay, guys, sure, if you say so. Cassandra, your message got auto modded. And for safety, I'm not going to let it through, but yes. Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, you know, think of the children. I mean, yeah, yeah. Some of it, you know, I don't know. I'm not a good judge of this stuff, though. You know, I've talked about this. You know, um, I've been I took art classes. I started taking art classes at a young age. Well, okay, not that young. I took art classes when I was 15, and this wasn't at school. These were, you know, just it was, um, you know, outside of school. It wasn't private, like it wasn't one on one, but it was like at a, you know, just an art teacher's, like at his studio. It was a group, and he brought in nude models, um, you know, and it was just a normal part of things, right? Because how do you learn to paint the human body? Like that's how you do it. So that's just part of it. So yeah, I'm kind of used to it. So I don't know. I'm not a very good judge of these things anymore. Like, you know, a lot of things don't even register anymore. Um, Personally, it's just like, yeah, that's normal. Some people don't think so. So, you know, what can I do? But yeah, figure drawing from models, you know, and that wasn't, I will say that wasn't the majority of the time. The majority of the time we were painting really annoying, boring, you know, white, what are they called? Uh, Ceramic casts or whatever they are, that were like super boring. They were just like, yeah, I remember spending literally, I think 40 hours on a drawing, a pencil drawing of a what's it called? A cylinder and a cone, a white cylinder and a white cone on a sitting on top of a piece of drapery. It's so boring. Uh, Sandra says having nude models for art classes growing up really helped me just smash away the wider beauty standards we saw in media. Yeah, I can get that. I'm not sure it worked that well for me because my art teacher was a uh old Russian guy who you know had his preference. We'll just put it that way. Tended to hire models that matched his preference. Um, yeah, he was a crazy guy. I remember him telling us stories about how he would go to the beach, and um, his wife would help him try and pick up models, women to model for him. You know what I'm saying? So not, um, yeah, crazy old guy. Um, yeah, that class didn't last that long, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I don't know, but no, it ended up not lasting that long for me. Um, he got very upset with me for not wanting him to, like, I didn't want him to paint the whole thing for me. Instead, I wanted him to instruct me more how to do it, and he did not like that. So yeah, things unfortunately ended at some point. Um, I thought I was being reasonable, but what do I know? Cassandra says, those still lives are so boring. I'm sorry. Oh, Heather says, that's what we've been doing in my class. All three classes, we've been working with those boring white cones and spheres. Yeah, they are boring, but at least you're not spending 40 hours on a single one of them, I hope. We are, the way he taught us in the beginning, it was we had a very specific way of drawing. So what you would do is you would be do you would do a drawing, and the drawing was size wise, it was bigger than this. It was roughly, I'm going to say, roughly probably like a 12 by 16, maybe 20 by 16, but I think it was closer to 12 by 16. It wasn't a standard size. Um, uh, Different sizes, but or different standards there. But yeah, so it was something different, but something like that. And we had to do the whole drawing with a pencil, where um, you hold the pencil at the back of the pencil, and you're only allowed to do this, and you only allowed to use the very tip of it, and you basically shouldn't see a single pencil line, just tone. And you can only erase with a kneaded eraser by dabbing, and you cannot use a stump or any blending tool at all. Very, very strict on that. Um, and if you guessed it, yes, it's kind of slow to do a drawing that way, which is why it took so long. It's very time consuming and not very efficient. Heather says, we're finally moving to still lives of flowers and fruit in acrylic at least. That's nice. Cassandra says, yep, did that for over a year, lol. Um, the stuff that Heather's talking about, or the type of pencil drawings I'm talking about? Because I'll be honest, I haven't come across a ton of people who've done that in particular, just because like the here the one I've come across more in America is people doing the Barg studies and cast drawings, the pencil work. Oh, really? Damn. Okay. Yeah, it's not. I like I said, I haven't come across it as much. The Bargs is way more popular here. Come across that a lot more. My Cassandra says my teacher was Italian. Ah, okay, there you go. See, my teacher didn't teach me Bargs at all. Maybe if I'd stayed longer, he would have. But um, yeah, he never taught me those. And then when I went to art school in LA, I he didn't teach those things either. He taught completely different. He yeah, completely different. I think the reason he taught so differently, the teacher in LA, he was a classically trained illustrator with a background in like production, and then also he he was running the school. He owned the school, and it was his school. Um, and he had a lot of his clientele was kind of a mix. It was either, for the most part, it was either uh, like pre-college students who wanted to, be artists, or it was and this was the majority, a lot of um, uh, we'll just say a lot of housewives who didn't have to work for the most part. That was like his biggest clientele. And I suspect that they wouldn't have really been too interested in doing Bargs, if I'm being honest. So I think he kind of tailored his program a little. I could be wrong. That's what it seemed like to me. Cassandra says, honestly, I think a lot of that pencil work is to test you with tedium. I don't know. I think there's something to it. Like I mean, yes, I think it does accomplish that as well. But I think it also accomplishes some other things. It's one of the homeworks that my teacher in LA, Mark Westermo, some of the homework he gave us was to do um, to take, because we did a lot of charcoal drawings. So he told us to take you know our charcoal and try and do squares and fill them in without any without any uh, um, it's not brush marks because it's charcoal, but without any drawn marks, essentially, right? Stuff like that. So I think part of it's also just an issue of control, right? Like, um, I do think that's a part of it, just being, having the control over the medium. Um, and I guess the patience to do it too. Yeah, I can see that, but I don't know. Probably all of the above, It doesn't have to be one or the other, honestly. It definitely is a test in TDM, regardless of if it's intentional, though, I will say that. Because, oh my God, those are so tedious to do. Yeah, okay. I will say, I kind of wish I had done Barg studies when I was in art school. Um, because I do think that they're helpful. Like, I think you gain a lot from doing them. I don't know that I'd gain as much from doing them now, and I don't know that I have the patience to do them now, regardless. So, yeah. Cassandra says, I got through a lot of audio books during those drawings. There. But yeah, I don't know that I really, I'll be honest, I don't know that I have the patience to do those drawings anymore. And even if I did one, I don't, I feel like you probably need a few more than just one. And I don't know that I have the patience for it now or the time. So yeah, kind of wish I'd done more of them when I was in art school. Okay, this one's really like I'm trying to block things in, but I really wasn't considering how like the colors, there's so much like bounced colors happening on our skin right now. I think I'm gonna have to lock it in more and then paint back into it. Will be I think the go-to move here. Some of the paint on my palette, unfortunately, has dried. Let me know if the image is looking too dark, because it on my screen it looks a little on the dark side at the moment. I don't know if it's just my monitor or if it's the stream is outputting pretty dark. It does look dark. Okay. Uh, the problem is when I increase this, it blows it out entirely. There we go. Perfect. Stupid sliders. Let's see. Um, I mean, it's still a bit on the dark side, but I'm trying not to blow out because, like, I'm looking at the white and the white's completely blown out. So, um, like I said, I'm trying not to. I wish there was a way I could, like, I don't know, raise just the darks more. It's crazy if I could have, like, that kind of control. Yeah, I think that's better. But yeah. All right. Well, I tried. Oh, hold on a second. So this painting, because I'm going to try and do it relatively quickly, definitely going to have a bunch of like um, modifications or um, what's the word I'm looking for? Adjustments kind of made to it. We'll see, how much of whatever it is I do because like technically speaking, she has the behind her she has blinds and I don't want to have to paint, all the slats and everything. I don't want to have to deal with that. So I'm going to have to find either ways of just indicating it or I'm just going to turn it into like a flat wall or something abstract because, yeah, I don't have the time or patience right now to do, the blinds. I just don't have it in me. She looks like she's sitting on a wood pallet, and I wasn't even going to do that, but I have to put the slats in because her foot here goes into one of the slats, like in between them. So in order to make it make sense, I have to keep some of that. Even if it's not clear that it's a wood pallet, there still needs to be like the slats aspect to it in some manner. Because otherwise her foot just kind of disappears in a way that doesn't make sense. Which, you know, I might actually do. I'm not 100% opposed to that. Like I'm 90% opposed to doing that, just randomly having our foot disappear. But, you know, there's like 10% wiggle room where I'm just like, I don't know, I could probably pull something and make it work without it. Pull a Liefeld, if you will. Cassandra, I'll be honest, I don't know how to pronounce that. Egg? Ugh? Not sure. Yes, Heather, I did just say that. Oh, come on, he was notorious back in the day for just hiding feet behind random mist, or the what's it called? Or suddenly there's just, the ground just bows for some reason and oh, look at that. Their feet just happen to be on the other side of the hill, you know. Yeah. Cassandra says the sound of disdain that Rob Liefeld deserves. Got it. I wasn't sure. I didn't know if you knew who he was. A lot of people don't know who he is. So, you know. I will say this, every time I've ever interacted with him, he's super nice. He's, had all kinds of issues with publishers and everything, but, I will say every time I've ever interacted with him at conventions, he was super nice. I didn't have like extensive interaction with the guy. I don't know him, but yeah. Sanders says, I unfortunately do. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, a lot of artists do know who he is, so I figured there's a chance. Heather says, a very nice man, a very bad artist. You know, I'm not going to defend some of his, some of the like less flattering artwork that he's put out there. I'm not going to defend him in general. But there are some things about his art that like I don't know. I Not all. I'm not going to, but I do get why like he blew up and became popular. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just his art. There was a lot that went into it at the time. Um, but yeah, um, you know, at this point, it's very interesting because he's been an artist for so long that, and he's stuck to his style and hasn't developed, we'll say, significantly out of it. Um, so now it's interesting. It's kind of cemented into place, I think. Um, and also, um, but with those years of experience also comes like a kind of proficiency and professionalism to it. It's a very interesting combination in the sense of like you have someone who's like really good at this, although some aspects of it aren't, like I would say, aren't very good, but he's very good at even those aspects, which is kind of funny. Heather says Steve loved him, loved the dynamic poses and the energy he brought to comic art. Yeah, that's the part that a lot of people really liked about his artwork. Absolutely. They didn't care if he drew people with, 50 teeth or whatever. Like it was just like doesn't matter if they have shark teeth, and the pose is super dynamic and that's all that matters. I am going to be using the brayer today. Feels like it's been a while since I touched it. Yeah. This is why I wasn't overly concerned with getting everything in the right place right away, because I was planning on this. Heather says Steve loved Magnolia too. Very unusual, expressive style. Um, and Cassandra says hip hip hooray, it's Brayer Day. That's funny. Yeah. I mean, Magnolia is great. Where, yeah, I don't know too many people who have anything negative to say about Magnolia. I'm sure there are people out there, but I would say that I don't know I've ever heard anyone say anything negative about Magnolia except for maybe they don't like the style, but that's more of a preference and not like, that's not the same as like, oh, he's not a good artist. That's just like, yeah, not my, I don't dig it. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say like, oh, Magnolia is not a good artist. I'm sure there's someone out there who thinks that, but very few of them, I think. Interesting. It literally wasn't turning that time. It was just smearing. I don't know why. Interesting. Yeah, it's really funny. Like the brayer is, you know, like it does so much to the painting so fast. Um, it's so interesting because like the amount of time that it takes me to, use the brayer versus like the effect it has on the painting. Um, it's I don't know, disproportionate almost. Like it's pretty funny. It, it feels like such a big part of the painting that, but it only takes like a minute, if that, and then it's done. You still need to borrow one and try it out. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Let me just do a couple of quick stretches, and then I'll get new gloves as well. But yeah, the brayer is fun. I will say it's not, I don't think it's necessary. I do think it's a good tool to have, but it's definitely not like required. Oh yeah, I almost lost track of my process here. Alrighty. I'm just going to transfer this to the computer for a second. Yeah. Sandra says, I like that this painting uh, is currently all the colors you see in like iridescent mylar. Oh yeah, I can see that. I have no idea how my paint would respond to being rolled all over the place, lol. I don't think it'd be that different from what my paint does. I don't think it'd be that different. Sorry, I'm off camera at the moment. I am just putting this photo of the painting into my computer so that I can, compare to the photo reference so I can get my proportions correct. This is where it's going to, I actually think in some ways going to start getting interesting with this painting in particular. We'll see. Oh, I cannot see chat. 1 second. Okay. There we go. Now I can see chat again. I lost you guys there for a second. I don't know, Cassandra. I think an unpopular opinion is I think you should just switch over to oil paints. Keep your what's it called? Keep your open acrylics for travel and when you do what's it called? If you ever do plein air and just switch over to oils. You and your oils, lol. Yeah. Nah, I mean, okay, I will. So here's the issue I have with your acrylics, okay? Acrylics aren't my favorite to work with in general for numerous reasons. Um, your acrylics in particular have a lot of qualities that I do like, but because it's so locked into that one brand. I'm not a fan of that um, because it's so limiting. Hey, Vanessa, welcome. How are you doing? Cassandra says, look, if I ever decide to do that, you'll be the first to know. Fair enough. Cassandra says, I think where I'm at in my art journey, less choice is probably better. I could see that. It's not so much it's not so much of an issue of choice, but I do understand what you're saying. It's more an issue of um like it's a combination of like dependency and um what's the word I'm looking for? Um Also just some lack of maneuverability. Like the paints that you have, there's something really like they're very, very flat, right? Like they go down and they're very, very flat. So if you ever wanted to add texture to them, you'd need a medium, but I don't think they have a medium for that. Acrylics do, but that's a different thing than your acrylics. I don't know if you can mix them. That's kind of those are the issues where I start having, some like issues with it. But I am over emphasizing it. I think the paints you're using are really cool. I think they feel really nice when I tried them out. I really think that they're a great alternative to oils that feel like oils in a lot of ways. So with everything said, I do think that they're really cool and a good option for people. Cassandra says I can get overwhelmed and lock up. That's fair. I get that. Vanessa says, good. I'm happy I'm able to paint tonight. Awesome. Bonus, I have a live stream to keep me company. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. What are you working on currently? Oh, Vanessa says you can, but the open time is reduced. All right, so you can mix in, what's it called? Um, Impasto mediums with a golden open. That's good to know. Still life, a little apple. Nice. For the record, if you saw me eating with my gloves, these are brand new gloves out of the box. I don't normally do that. I literally just put on brand new gloves. Otherwise, I'm a little more careful about it. Which reminds me I need a snack, lol. Yeah. Oh wait, Cassandra says, love a still life you can eat afterwards. Nice. Yep. I was going to make a joke that that's how I feel about pet portraits, but I'm vegan, so it doesn't really work very well. Vanessa says, no, it's from a picture. I'm a fraud. That's all right. I did a painting of a piece of cake uh, a year or two ago. I just wanted to see if I could take something that that's kind of, I would say, kind of boring and make it into something interesting. It was very challenging. Heather says, I was going to get a snack, but the kitty is sleeping on my legs, so I'm trapped for the foreseeable future. Yeah, yeah. And I'm not complaining. Good. All right. Some of my proportions were definitely off, but it's all right. Let's get started here. Back with grapes. Grapes are good. I like grapes. Something I want to try with grapes. I want to try making a like a sorbet ice cream out of grapes. Hmm. Do I have an ice cream maker? I do not, but I have found that you can kind of make sorbets without an ice cream maker. I have I have a blender. I have like one of those bullet blenders type of thing. And you can kind of make a sorbet out of that. Vanessa says, now I'm hungry. Cake, sorbet, ice cream. Eh, yeah, sorry. We'll see. So there's a particular artist I'm looking at, and I'm not going to mention his name, not because I don't want to um, mention his name, but because he has some stuff that might not be TOS friendly, and I'm paranoid at the moment, so I don't think I'll link to him or anything. Nothing crazy, it's on Instagram, so it can't be that bad. But I'm paranoid now, so I'm just, I'm not. But he's a really good artist, and once again, I do not think in any way that I can copy his style right away. I'm not even trying, but there's just certain elements that I'm trying to kind of pick out and take inspiration from. So we'll see how it works out. So what I'm trying to say is if my style looks slightly different, it's like, oh, there's a little out of the norm for you. That's probably why. Not entirely sure that it will feel that way because I think I implement things. I think I'm able to kind of bring things into my style pretty well, but you never know. This I got completely wrong. That is one area I was really off on. So one of the things I'm doing a little different is I'm not using my normal, what's it called? Um, quinacridone rose for my drawing lines, which is usually my go-to, but not today. I'm using just like I'd say black, but it's not really black. It's just kind of a darker mix color. Honestly, I think it's actually taking off more paint than it is actually putting paint down. I think that's really what's happening for the most part, which also works given the color of my panel. So drawing thing or not drawing fingers, painting fingers rather. Um, they I don't want to say it can be very challenging. Obviously, it can be very challenging, but one thing I've noticed is you really just have to have faith that you'll be able to get them right and be okay with them looking really wrong for a long time. At least in my experience, that's the way the fingers often go. Like you start putting them in and it's just like, oh, these just look like, you know, like just these stumps or sausage thingies or whatever, and you're just like, this looks awful. And you just have to be okay with it looking awful because at some point you're gonna fix them and get them looking right, but you just got to be okay with them looking completely wrong for a while. Like one of the things that comes up too with hands a lot of times is I've had this, they look huge sometimes and just like that can't be right. Like, there's no way the hand is that big. And of course it requires refinement, but yeah, sometimes it's like, yeah, it is that big actually. Especially when it's like spread out and everything. Really trying to get out all the placement correct so I don't have to do too much of this, like too much redrawing later. So what I'm doing right now, obviously I'm drawing in the figure, but I'm comparing my the photo I took of my painting um, and my painting. Like I have the two, and the reference is overlaid on top of the photo, and so I can see all these marks that I have, and I can use them kind of as guides or comparison points to measure off of. It's kind of like using a grid, um, but it's obviously it's not a grid and it's not quite as rigid as that, um, or perfect. Um, but it has a lot of the same concepts. One of the benefits to it over the grid is that I can use it like midway in the process versus the grid. Once you cover it up, that's kind of it. You're kind of stuck. So this does provide some flexibility that the grid does not. However, there are some disadvantages. I have used the grid system before, and I did like it's a very good system for transferring things, but it definitely has its issues. Um, I think it also depends, what you're working on. Sometimes, like anything, some systems work better, under certain circumstances versus others. I used the grid system on a painting with some fabric that was very, very wrinkled. And uh, the big problem that I ran into was just there was just too much stuff. And I actually struggled to kind of keep track of where everything was. Eventually, like it just became um, too complicated, and I could not keep track of where everything was. There was just too many wrinkles, too many folds, too much stuff happening. Oh, I, failing to draw I was trying to draw a straight line and I clearly failed. Um, but it reminded me uh, of my art school because we were talking about those pencil drawings and everything. That was one of the like tests that we had in my art school, or not in the art classes I took. We had to by hand, um, without a ruler, do a straight line through the middle of the page, both vertically and horizontally. It was like a test, essentially. And it's funny because I am pretty bad at that stuff. That was actually one of the things that I always had an issue with when I was trying to do comics was perspective, because this was before I was, drawing digitally and trying to do perspective when all the perspective points would be like way outside the page. I always found that super uh, frustrating and difficult to deal with. Sandra says, yeah, I had many perspective lessons in different schools, and it just really took so much to get anything of it to click. And even then I didn't enjoy it. So my issue with perspective is not um I do get that. I think it clicks with me, like I understand it. My issue is that it's like, okay, so I want to do, let's say, because this is when I was more into comics, and it's like, okay, let's say I want to do a 3 point perspective of the city, like I'm drawing Spider-Man, let's do the whole city or part of the city. It's like, okay, great. My page is this big. My my two of my vanishing points are way out here, like way out there. Okay, how do I do that? How do I physically, like, I can't, how do I do this? I don't, that was always something I struggled with. I also struggle with the tedium of it. I definitely struggle with that aspect of perspective drawing as well. I'm not, I'm not good at that part either. Like, I'm like, oh, this is boring. Um, and so I don't think I did a good, I don't think I'd, like, I wouldn't say that I'm like great at it. I'm definitely not like, I wouldn't say that I'm great at like backgrounds and stuff like that. Like I can manage them, but I'm definitely not like, some people just, I've seen some, like I worked with this guy who, he started out in animation as a background designer, and it shows every time he had to design a background, he'd just go freaking ham on it. It was crazy how good he was and fast at it too. Good and fast. It's a really good combination. Cassandra says my dad is so good at perspective stuff. That's cool. Cassandra says organic's not his strongest. Don't know where I got it from. Uh, yeah, no, I get that. The other night I went to art get together thing, and what's it called? Maybe, well, not yet last night, the other couple nights ago. And there's one guy there who's he loves to draw these really cool like um, just all these really cool vehicle designs. Um, and I don't know what else I would call them. They're just, but they're like weird futuristic vehicle designs. Um, they kind of look like mechs, like mech robots, but they're not robots. They're just vehicles and stuff like that. But he's so good at it, and he has, he has all the like the what's it called, like the special rulers, to make circles and ellipses. He has like the pack of those and everything, because you really need those if you want to do a lot of a lot of perspective work for like the type of stuff he's doing, where you have to like he has to do like it's it's what's called, it's vehicles, so they have tires, or sometimes they have circles, ball tires, or sometimes they have like all kinds of circles, or all kinds of balls on them, just all kinds of design elements that you need that stuff for. But he does such a good job with it. And he also, after he like sketches it out, he just inks it in, and it's crazy how good he is at that. Oh shoot, I got this wrong. Sounds cool. Oh, Cassandra says we all have our things, I guess. Sounds cool. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone has their own thing. I have yeah, actually I know a couple of artists who like they love doing mech robots and stuff like that. I'm just like, oh hell no. No, thank you. I like looking at mech robots. I'll watch a show about mech robots. I don't really want to draw them. By the way, if anyone is not following Andrew Kadima and you want to see, but you know him or you're familiar with his work, um, or if you're not, but you like oil painting and you want to see a quick painting from start to finish in real time, his latest video that he released was exactly that. Um, so I haven't watched the whole thing. Um, I like his artwork a lot. I like him. I like his content a lot. I think he's really fun and funny and everything. Um, it's just a little too slow for me, which I realize I recognize the irony. Don't get me wrong, totally get the irony there. Um, yeah, just I do plan on watching it. I just haven't. I need the right energy for it. Otherwise, I'll just zone out. Okay, it's starting to come together. And as I said, totally get that I'm a slow painter, but can watch someone, uh, but can't watch someone painting real time live are different. I get that. I will say, I think he's doing commentary throughout the whole thing, which is adds a little more to it. It's just, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it also falls into that category of things where it's like, I might want to pay more attention to it because like I'll watch things where I really don't have to pay attention to it. And I feel like I'll probably want to pay a little more attention than I normally would to some things that I watch, but then it it's just a little too slow um for me to pay attention to. I don't know if that makes sense. And yeah, I do get it. Live is a little different because you can I do like the live interaction. Like if I miss, there's a bunch of artists I follow, and if I miss their live streams, I almost never go back and watch their live streams. I don't have any interest in it, but I do really enjoy their live streams. But I can't bring myself to go back and watch a live stream and play back most of the time. So I totally get that. Vanessa says totally, yeah. Yeah, yeah, I get that. All right. I need to give my camera a minute. Yeah. Yeah, the last painting I did for the video, I think it took me, I think it was like 5.5 hours. It was basically it was like under 6 hours of painting time that I had recorded, um, which was very fast for me. And I'm hoping I can get close to that with this painting as well, but we'll see. French fries says, going to bed, Leon. Good night, chat. Sleep tight. Oh, good night, French fries. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Um, and have a good night. Vanessa says, I will if it's background noise, but like you, I won't go back just to watch it. Yeah, Vanessa, I get that. I do think the ability to like, um, what's it called? I do think the ability to like interact with the live stream adds, definitely adds some interest to it. Yeah. Vanessa says, oh, great, considering your standard. Yeah, I think so. I mean, that was the goal with the daily paintings originally, was like not to go over 6 hours. I haven't really kept up with that. But that was the original goal. Of course, it takes me about, I'd say probably about 4 to 6 hours to do all of the writing, recording, and editing as well, for each video. So I was hoping I could get that down to like 3 hours, but I haven't been able to quite yet. We'll see. Maybe with time I can. Because I really would like to be able to put out a video, like 5 videos a week. Vanessa says, or are you going to hire someone for the editing part? I wish, you know, uh, maybe one day you know, part of the editing someone else could do in theory. Part of it they absolutely can't do because I'm combining like the script writing, the recording, then the editing, and then yeah. The script writing and recording obviously I have to do. Um the editing someone else could do, but that ends up being a very small part overall. But yeah, I can't afford it right now, and the channel is not generating money to make it feasible. But maybe in the future, I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to close that door. Fingers crossed. Vanessa says, yeah, yeah, absolutely. We'll see how things go. Things have unfortunately stalled a bit with the channel, growth-wise. I'm hoping in the next couple weeks it picks back up. I think the algorithm is punishing me for not putting out a lot of videos. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, as I start putting out more videos, um, they stop punishing me and help me out again. But we'll see how it goes. I actually thought I'd have a video out today, but that clearly didn't work out. I had that commission to work on, and then also last night I was so sick with allergies that I ended up going to bed early because I literally couldn't work. I was just like, okay, I give up. I'm just going to go to bed early and wake up early and do that because I can't do anything right now. So I didn't get a video out today, which sucks, but um, hopefully I can get this out tomorrow. Honestly, it'll probably be Saturday, which means I'll probably only get 2 videos out instead of 3 this week, but you know, sometimes that's the best you can do. Vanessa says, I get when someone has another job, like I will do this for 4 hours, someone else will do it for $50. Uh, I'll do more money if I work those 4 hours. Yeah. Um, I hope it will for you. I did recommend your channel this week. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. 2 videos is better than nothing. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I did take time out of what's it called? I did take time this week to try and invest in upcoming videos, though. So what I mean by that is one on Tuesday night I went out to the to an art there's an art collective here in Austin that I go to sometimes, and they had like an art night and an art get together type of thing. I went to that, and I took photo reference for paintings. So I was able to take some. I think I'll get a couple paintings out of those photo references, which is great. Honestly, even just one would be a good turnout, but I think I'll get more than one. So I think that will be good. It's better than working off of what's it called? Online photos, you know? So unfortunately that, took time. So slowed me down a bit this week, amongst other things. But yeah, I still think it's worth it. Oh, when will I get the results um for the submission to Portrait Society? I don't remember. I think it's later in the month. Like I think it's towards the end of the month, if I remember correctly. I will say, don't, I appreciate everyone who's rooting for me, but I don't have, I'll be honest, I don't have high hopes. Uh, you know, they get a lot of submissions. Um, yeah. I try not, obviously, I try very hard not to take it personally and be okay with it. But part of that is also not getting my hopes up, if I'm being honest. It helps. Like if I don't get my hopes up, it's a lot easier to take than if I do get my hopes up and really want it. You heard that it's big? Yeah, it is big. And they get really big names submitting as well. And I don't want to imply that it's all based off of name recognition, but I wouldn't be surprised if that had some effect on things. I don't know if any of you saw that video recently where there was a competition that recently had they let an AI image uh, win the competition. AI painting. They eventually disqualified them, but it was a whole thing. So um, yeah, different competition, different organization, but you know, these organizations aren't, you know, none of them are perfect. In essence, it's like everything, we have a bias just because of the name, but it is double-edged sword. It is. Our expectations are always higher with big nouns or big names. Yeah. Uh, hold on a second. Uh, oh, what is happening? Oh, okay. I keep getting YouTube. What's it called? YouTube. When I stream, uh, often it gives me all kinds of notifications letting me know that there's something wrong with the bit rate of my audio because sometimes I don't talk. And so it's like, oh no, the bit rate of your audio is zero. Nothing, there's no audio. It's like, yeah, it's because I'm not saying anything, but cool, thanks, YouTube. It's funny. I think they expect you to be talking like 99.9% of the time that you are streaming, either talking or playing audio of some sort. It's like I would play music, um, but they're so strict with their copyright stuff that I'm not gonna chance. I'm not gonna chance it. I wish they would. It would be great if they would, do something that lets you play music while you streamed, like copyrighted music. And also, if you could do it for set it for two channels so that people watching could turn off the music if they didn't want it, that would be amazing. And given how much music is already on YouTube, they kind of can do that. They just need to actually implement it. But like, I don't think they ever will, unfortunately. And this is, yeah, sometimes I'm listening in replay and I'm like, did I pause it by accident? Yeah, I know. That is the problem. I've thought about playing like copyright free music, but I, I'm not a huge fan of most of that music and it's just kind of bland or blah. And I'm like, I know I don't want to listen to it most of the time. So it's like, if I don't want to listen to it, I don't know that I'm gonna, don't know that you guys want to listen to it. It's like, so what's the, like, so what then? I don't know. Um, I will say most of the time you can just look for my stream. You can look at the slideshow going by, and that's a good indicator if the stream stopped. Um, Vanessa says, yeah, like that elevator music. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't really want to listen to that. So, like, if I don't want to listen to it, why would I subject you all to it? I don't know. But yeah, um, I used to listen to like just whatever music I wanted to when I streamed solely on Twitch a couple of years ago. But uh, even that became a little problematic at one point because they had like a big DMCA like strike down happen. But I don't know. Also, I'll be honest, I know my music isn't everybody's taste, and if you can't mute the music, then you're just stuck listening to my music, and I know not everyone wants to listen to the music I listen to, so it creates other problems. So all those things considered, it's just why I decided just not to deal with it. But yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll see. I don't know what I'm doing with the streams exactly. I do enjoy them. I like the interaction. I appreciate all of you who come in and hang out and talk and chat. Um, I really do. I really do enjoy the streams. Um, and it's a good opportunity to get painting time in as well. Of course, it definitely forces me to, and sometimes, it's just hard schedule-wise sometimes. Um, so that's good. But yeah, I don't know. They definitely don't get like the crazy numbers or anything like that. So okay, here's something really dumb though. I think I've mentioned this last time, but um, the live views that I get from it, the watch hours that you all put in during the live stream don't count towards my overall watch hours um, for becoming a YouTube partner, which is so stupid. It's not a big deal, but it is stupid. Um, let's see. Vanessa says, if I want, I can put music and listen to your live. It's just YouTube expectations, not your public. Yeah. Um, Heather says, the kitty tells me it's time to go to bed, so I'm going to go lay down. Good night. Night chat. Night, Leon. Yeah. Good night, Heather. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. I appreciate it. Good night to you and good night to Kitty. Vanessa says, what? Live views are not? Yeah, so a little behind the scenes for anyone who's interested. In order to become a YouTube partner, you need to have if I remember correctly, it's 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. The live video watch time is not included in that time. If you watch the replay, yeah, Vanessa says, does replay count? Yes, replay counts. Live doesn't. And the shorts do, but they are a separate count. So you either need 4,000 hours of watch time or a huge crazy number for an even bigger number for the shorts, because shorts are like, they have such a different metric to them, so they're actually put separately. But they don't cross, they don't accumulate together, so it's one or the other, um, which is very annoying. Also, it's within a year, within 360 days. That's also important, I guess. It can't be like, because I actually recently they were like, congratulations, you reached 3,000 hours of watch time, and I'm like, oh, cool. And then I go into my thing and I'm like, oh, that's for the life of the channel, I guess, because I am only at like 1,500 hours watch time, not 3,000. Like, all right, thanks, YouTube. I appreciate you faking the number. I don't understand why they do it that way, but whatever. Good to know. Yeah, there's a lot of weird, like, there's a bunch of like little weird things like that where you're just like, this, that's odd. Okay, great, I guess. Good to know. Cool. But yeah, if anyone's like looking to get into making videos or streaming or anything, if you ever have questions, feel free to bring it up in the Discord. I'm not an I am by no means an expert, but I'm happy to like talk about anything, if there's anything in particular. I, I I don't mind talking about it during the live either. I just don't know how interested people are in hearing about it sometimes. Um, but I guess considering that YouTube's worried that I'm not talking, it doesn't hurt to just ramble on sometimes. Uh, Side note, I'm racking my brain to think about art supplies that I might need right now because I have to order a couple things online and I'm trying to think like, okay, I definitely need this and that. Now, what else do I need so that I can get free shipping? Because otherwise I'm going to have to pay for shipping and it's like I know what happens almost every time I order is I order something and then I like l the next day I'm like, damn it, I forgot whatever, something. Almost always happens. So I'm like racking my brain right now trying to figure out like what do I need from the art store? Can't think of anything though. I'm trying to buy uh some what's it called? Um I found some boards. They're having a sale. Jerry's is having a sale on I think it's called New York Central art boards. I was going to try those. I've never tried them before. I don't know if they're any good, but the price is right. They have one that's super smooth. So it's like, okay, it claims to be super smooth. And I like smooth surfaces, so maybe it will be good. But I've never tried them before, so yeah. And then I also need some acrylic matte medium. Um, and yeah, can't think of what else, but those are the two main things. Have you ever tried it, Vanessa? Have you tried the New York Central brand? You never have? Okay. Yeah. So they have their New York Central, but then this is specifically the super smooth. And I'm like, okay, I don't trust most um, canvas boards. Um, yeah, I don't trust most canvas boards, but it says super smooth, um, and it says portrait on it. So I'm like, okay, maybe it won't, you know. And oh, the other thing is the board that it's on, they claim is MDF, not cardboard. So all those things combined make me think maybe it's not bad. Because usually the boards, you know, the canvas boards, the cheap ones, they're cardboard inside. So the fact that it's not cardboard makes me hope that maybe it's actually a little bit better. No, shipping to Canada is crazy. Yeah, that's fair. Why acrylic? Oh, I use acrylic medium for um, to like what's it called? Uh, to prep things. Like if instead of gesso, I don't like gesso. I hate painting on gesso. Um, it's so dry. Certain companies that pre-gesso things do a good job. Like Ampersand makes gessoed boards that feel good. But most of the time, gesso I hate. I hate working on gesso. It's just so dry and so awful to work on. Um, so I prefer like acrylic matte medium. So I do use that to seal a lot of things instead of gesso. Vanessa says, "Oh, interesting. Even if you have to add a few coats of gesso or matte medium MDF board, um, yeah. So I will say, if I was going to work, this is the other thing. I did find online some birchwood panels that aren't made for specifically for art, but I was thinking about buying them as a surface to paint on. But the thing is, if I'm going to do that, I think I need to buy uh, acrylic. It's gloss gel, I think it is, and not specifically. I have to look up exactly what it is because apparently that is really. I'd have to put a layer of that to seal it, and then a layer of matte medium on top of it. Let's see. Um, let's see. You had to try many to find um, your own. What? Maybe I'm. Vanessa says, "Oh, interesting. Even if you had to, oh, a couple of layers of gesso. Yeah, no, I hate. I still hate gesso. I've never enjoyed it. It's so dry. It just feels so dry. A couple layers of acrylic matte medium is personally really like I like painting on that. It's smooth, it's slippery, but it's not like horribly slippery. I find that to be pretty good. Um, but yeah, according to the stuff I've read online, um, in order to seal like I was looking at these like birchwood panels. They recommend oh, what is it? Hold on, I can tell you because it's interesting. It's not something I find, you know, I'm used to using. It was hold on. Um, Oh my God. Wow, this Discord is so busy. Um, yeah, okay. Jeez. Okay, oh wait, maybe it was over here. Okay, yeah, here it is. Regular gel gloss. Apparently, that is the medium to use to seal wood for some reason. No, not GAC 100. GAC 100 is good. If I remember correctly, to go on top, but the thing I found online was regular gel gloss. Supposedly is the first coat to seal the wood is that stuff. That's the stuff to use. I don't know. Golden has it. Golden regular gel gloss. I don't know why. It's to prevent. Vanessa says it's to prevent SID, but if you paint with oils, no need. Yeah, I've heard that. You know, I'm not positive on any of this stuff. I haven't painted much on wood that wasn't pre-prepped for me. Most of the stuff I paint on um, has not been wood. So yeah. Vanessa says substrate induced discoloration. Yeah, yeah. I saw that. I don't know what it means entirely, but yes. Uh, you know, it, yeah, I'm not positive on it. We'll see. Like I said, I'm trying to figure it all out. These panels, these you know, what's it called? These ABS panels, they're really they're really good. I don't need to gesso them or do anything like that. But at the same time, if I was looking and if I can find something that's the same price or cheaper that requires less preparation, I'm down for that. So we'll see. Anyways, I think I'm going to call it a night though. It's been how long? How long has stream been? 2.5 hours. Yeah, that's about right. Um, the painting's coming along. It's not obviously not finished, but yeah, it's starting to come together. Um, but yeah, sorry, I can feel uh, um, my attention is definitely waning, so I definitely need a break to recuperate before I go back to painting. Vanessa says, have a good night. Yeah, have a good night, Vanessa. Good night, everybody who stopped by and anyone watching the replay as well. Um, I don't know. I'm supposed to say something. I don't know. Like, subscribe, whatever. My brain's done. Have a good night, everybody. I will be back on Sundays because I stream on Sunday, and keep an eye out for more videos. Cassandra says, take care. Yeah, take care. Have a good night. Talk to you all later. Bye.